Okay. Never been here. I'm a tourist.
Never been in the Premier's office? You've been here, maybe not in this one, but not.
It should be good. I took 50 Ritalin. Maybe I sure smoked 2 joints of marijuana. Anyway. Hey, if Justin Trudeau can do it, I can do it. So anyway, never mind that. Okay, here we go. I'm right calm.
Good to see. Aren't you always?
Oh, yeah. Sometimes I'm calm with the issue. The issue's going to be a little bit hot. But anyway, we'll see. How you doing?
Good. Look, 2 more question periods, and the House will wrap up until Christmas time. If we look at what we've accomplished since the session has started, we see pension reforms that are now in place, so that pensioners and our current employees and taxpayers can all have confidence going forward. Not an easy process, but an important process for the future of New Brunswick. Just this week as well, we saw the opportunity to move forward with a prescription drug and catastrophic drug plan for New Brunswickers going forward as well. And so I think I'm pretty pleased with the work that's getting done.
This is not going to be a normal interview. We could turn. Oh yeah, that's right. We're going to. We're gonna, of course, I expect to keep on going for at least. Here we go. Here, half an hour. But I would love to jump to other issues, but we're going to talk about. We're going to talk about shale gas. It's so important. Surprise! No, we have. It's such an important issue. A lot of people really don't know the Premier. They comes out arrogant. Me, I'm defending you. I said, no, he's all right. He's just something. I don't know if he's Scottish, but anyway, we'll get to that later.
Yes, sir.
Okay. When did you first learn about shale gas?
Well, certainly it's been over the last several years. When, if I look at when I was in opposition,
yes,
there was work that was taking place. The Sean Graham government put out a number of permitting processes for companies to come to explore to see what was taking place in New Brunswick.
That's where you first found out?
That would have been, well, certainly knew about natural gas, but in terms of starting to have some sense of what was going on. So I go back to the campaign of 2010.
Hold it, let's hold it. Let's not rush too fast.
Okay.
Somebody sent me something, and I'm sure you've seen it. You as leader of the opposition, Wally Stahl was in power. Remember Wally Stahl? Turncoat, went from PC to Liberals. He must be kicking his butt now. Anyway, never mind that. And Joan McAlpine too. Oh my God, I got these flashbacks. See, ADHD, I'll blame it on that. You stood up in the House as leader of the opposition, and you put your concern about shale gas, fracking. Do you remember that?
Oh, absolutely.
Absolutely. Okay, go ahead.
And so I raised questions. But you know, as a party, we did our work that we had to do, and with the election campaign, we were prepared to commit and support.
No, you said you were concerned to Wally Stahl about wells being destroyed in the States, and you were very, very concerned to the government of the day that fracking wasn't safe.
And so, as a party, as a leader of the party, we were able to do the necessary work that we had to do, that by the time the campaign came along, we were prepared to support the responsible development of natural gas in New Brunswick. That was...
Never talk about fracking,
though. It goes side by side, Charles, very, very clearly. And you know, it's kind of interesting, the people that are out protesting, you know, most people in New Brunswick at least get there by driving in a car. The likelihood is that gas has come from a fracked well. You know, that's...
You sure about that?
Go look
Isn't
that up,
oil?
Charles.
Isn't oil from Arabia or out west? Or?
Well, what do you think? How do you think it is done, Charles? The reality is fracking takes place around the world.
Yeah, but they don't, okay, that's okay.
No, that's the reality.
Okay, but that's...
So, and what is clear is, and even a significant part of wells that have been fracked in the past in New Brunswick, and there hasn't been a well in New Brunswick fracked for probably 3 years, actually. What's going on now is exploration with the potential to develop going forward. But much of what's been done in the past in New Brunswick is actually done with propane because of the geology underneath is propane works.
So you
very
say
well.
it could be done, I hate to cut you off, I wish we had 2 hours, but we only have another 28 minutes. But, so you turn around, as leader of the opposition, you were concerned about these well water. You were concerned.
We raised the questions. We did our work.
Research.
So that we were prepared to come forward and run on a platform.
Okay, so now the platform, which I told you before, I told you 3 years ago, but you don't listen to good. You have to be Scottish. You have to be stubborn. So it wasn't on your platform for fracking. We know that. So
it was very clear on our platform.
But nobody reads the platform. Nobody reads it.
So that I find that interesting because people hold me accountable for my platform. So
the liberals do.
So people should hold us accountable for it. But Charles, this is about the future of New Brunswick.
Okay, we'll get to that now.
No, that's what we're talking about.
That's what we're talking about.
Okay. Is the future of New Brunswick. So do we have a province that is prosperous? If I look, we're blessed. You and I and
oh my God, are we blessed? Look, the St. John River right there, beautiful place.
We have what we need. There's no question. We've had that prosperity, that quality of life, not because it's a right. It's because of people who've gone before us, and they've earned that, they've built that prosperity and quality of life that we have.
Okay.
And so, but no, it's not okay. The reality is, if we don't have a strong economy, if we don't have opportunities for our families, for our people in New Brunswick, then ultimately that quality of life is not going to be there for the future. That means that the services that governments provide.
I agree. Okay, so you are elected premier. You're here. I still say...
I'm glad you would agree to that.
Well, you're elected premier, but I still say that they were so upset with Sean Graham, you got elected because of Sean. We know that. People were upset. People were just, didn't matter who it was.
You can't separate the two. We ran on a platform, and every day in the House I get held to whether or not
the promises.
We are meeting our commitments.
Yes.
And one of those commitments, part of how we need to develop our province, is developing our natural resources.
I agree.
Okay.
Now, you said you can't separate the two, and I think that's the problem. Now, we turn around, you're premier, you have been, I still say you're one of the most honest politicians I ever met, which I'm not kissing butt here, but I mean, I call it as I see it. But you said open, you want to be open with New Brunswickers. Now, you set up a committee to study shale gas, right? Mm-hmm. Okay, when did you first learn about this Louie Lapierre? Did you know him before, or?
Oh, well, Louie Lapierre has done work throughout the years. I certainly...
The Liberals, yeah.
Oh, he did work on NB Power.
Yep.
On that. He's done work. I was aware of the work that he had completed in Labrador with the INU in Labrador. So I certainly have known about Louie Lapierre for a long time, and an incredible individual.
So he was the man. He was the qualification. We know what happened afterward. But I'm just trying to go at the time where
a very solid, and he still is he's an incredible human being. And you sit down and you listen to him and about his passion, and you understand that whole piece of it.
So he went around the province.
Absolutely.
I was there in Norton.
There was actually more work that was done before Louie Lapierre, Dr. Lapierre.
What was it? Refresh my memory.
We did the blueprint work. First, we did a piece when we were in opposition, where we brought forward a strategy on the future of energy in New Brunswick. Okay, part of that was about MB Power and the dynamic there, but it was broader than strictly MB Power, and the value, quite frankly, of things like natural gas to our province. We came forward with an energy blueprint, which again, significant work done very shortly after the election that would lay a foundation for how we build our province and take advantage of energy, whether that be, a New Brunswick-owned NB Power and the value that's brought there, the place of renewables, what we're doing on conservation, things like we've been able to do.
So we had to do a study.
With
did a study.
Where we see things taking place. So that was the first piece, and a significant piece of that was the the natural gas piece as part of it. There were concerns that were raised by
the medical officer. The medical officer,
Absolutely,
very
for sure.
concerned. Very said that shale gas wasn't good for New Brunswickers' health.
No, what she did is she brought forward questions, and which is her responsibility.
Just like the ombudsman.
So there was that work that was going on. There was the work that Louie Lapierre was doing as well, and Louie Lapierre came back and said that he didn't recommend a moratorium. That a moratorium wouldn't.
That's what he said.
Serve to allow the development to take place, or not the development, the exploration to take place. And at the same time, what people need to realize is that our officials have literally been across North America looking at and understanding the industry.
North Dakota and all over the place.
In the southern U.S., in places like Pennsylvania, in the western part of Canada, to understand the industry. What can we learn from the industry? How can we put a solid set of regulations in place so that if there is an industry going forward, then we've got the strength in place to be able to regulate it well, but at the same time still see development done in a safe way.
I would love to make you listen. I'd love to let you talk, but 1 minute. I got about 20 minutes left. Now, I always say you're an honest politician. Be honest with me. When you first hear that Lapierre was a fraud, what's the first thing that came to your head?
Oh, I was. I don't know the word would be sick to my stomach, but certainly incredibly disappointed. That part of it, the impact on him personally.
Where were you?
Without a doubt. But
where were you when you found out?
Oh, I can't.
Can't remember something like that. Come on.
No, I can't.
No.
No.
Okay.
I can't. But certainly, I felt. Certainly a knot inside my gut on it for a number of reasons, obviously. What I feel good about, though, is that the scientists that he had been able to bring together.
He was like a mediator. He brought people together.
Right. So, the group of scientists that he brought together by,
But that wasn't his job. He did bring some people together.
Oh, and so the majority, my understanding, again, is that they've committed to continuing to do the necessary work to understand the impact.
Like your father is an evangelist.
Pastor.
Pastor.
Yeah.
Okay. You're a religious person.
Yeah.
Now you see all these things happening, concerned about shale gas and it wasn't the protest then, but couldn't you take this as a sign of God and say, thank you. My God, there is a God, then come out with Louie Lapierre that all the studies he did was all for nothing. And then you could start all over again.
No, absolutely not, because the reality, and I talked about the work that we have completed as a government to bring in place a strong regulatory system, okay? Again, if there is an opportunity to build the sector, what people need to realize now is all that has been taking place is exploration. So the seismic trucks that just finished a week ago, all that was going on was really an opportunity to map out what's below our feet. The analysis will be done to determine whether or not there is sufficient quantities or the geology to be able to extract it.
But Lapierre was a fraud. So everything he said, you should proceed ahead. That's his words.
No,
you should proceed ahead.
What Louie Lapierre did, the job that he needed to do was to bring leaders together.
Isn't that
Academics.
Isn't that a political answer?
No, it isn't.
No,
no, it
sure?
isn't. He brought leading scientists together, and people,
I could have done that.
People cannot. Cannot question the credentials of the people.
But I could have done the same thing.
There. Well, you could have, and
yeah,
you didn't.
I could have bring everybody together.
So people have come together.
How much was he paid?
I have no idea.
No, I have no idea.
No, I don't.
Okay, so he's there, so that would be a good time to say we got to review this all over again, but you didn't because you say he brought people together and the research are there.
And the researchers are there, and the work that we've done, number one, with our blueprint document, number two, with the regulatory piece, number three, with the strategy, the path forward for natural gas in the province, and number four, the royalty work that we've been doing.
Royalty, that's another thing. But anyway, we'll get to that. 17 minutes left. If we turn around, if you turn around, what did you first think when you first heard about the trouble? The first arrest that was made in June. Those 12 people that were arrested, and I was there. And the RCMP was nice. They let me film. What did you think about that? Were you surprised? Or?
Look, people will make their own choices, right? You've heard me say it too many times. I don't know if I need to say it again today or not.
You have the right to protest in the democratic system,
right,
but in a safe
manner.
You're
learning.
Now, no, but I mean, hold it.
No,
okay,
and it is an important part of New Brunswick and part of being part of a democracy. And people do have the right to raise their voices.
But Mr. Premier,
in a respectful, lawful way.
But Mr. Premier,
they do not have the right to violence. And we cannot condone that. So that's why there's a responsibility by the RCMP to ensure public safety.
How come I feel like this is question period here? But anyway, this is much better. If you turn around, every time you say that, the first thing that comes to my mind is the Olympics in China. They had the right to protest in a square about 10 miles away from the Olympics. That's the China government. That it's a known fact. So their right to protest 10 miles, 5 miles away from.
No, they have.
What do you mean?
They have the right to protest as long as they don't break the laws, as long as they don't close roads, as long as they don't burn tires, as long as they don't
the burnt tire that just happened once. That just happened once.
It happened. Let's be clear, Charles. Okay, what was taking place down in Kent County was not lawful. What was taking place in Kent County was violent. What was taking place in Kent County was intimidation, was threatening the safety of the public. That's the reality of what was taking place there, and there is not a New Brunswicker, I would hope, can condone what took place there.
Listen, there's bad activists, there's good activists.
Absolutely.
There's good bloggers, there's bad bloggers.
Absolutely.
There's good politician, there's bad politician. I mean, it goes both ways. So you can't really, and never mind that. So you are the only premier in the history of New Brunswick. This is what scares I'll even use it. I'm a blogger. It scares the shit out of me. Is you're the premier. You're the only premier in history that has been close to 100 people arrested. But what scares me is the local MLA is Brian Gallant. Could be the future premier, but he's not saying a word. He's the local MLA. But are you concerned about how close to 100 people arrested?
Look, I'm concerned that people are breaking the law. Absolutely I'm concerned. You asked me the other day about Santa Claus. Well, pretty clear, Santa Claus made a poor decision, right? No, that's the reality.
But Santa knows Shale Gas is bad, and Santa's good, you know what I mean? Charles, one of the interesting things, United States, okay, we talk about global warming and the impact on our climate, what's going on with climate change, okay?
You look at the United States, they didn't sign on to Kyoto, but the United States is actually going to be probably the first country to meet their responsibilities or surpass their responsibilities. Why is that? It's because of shale gas. It's because shale gas can transform their economy and allows them to, as an example, convert coal-fired plants to natural gas.
We know that.
Okay, no. Well, guess what that means, Charles? We've been the chimney of, or the stovepipe of Eastern North America and Midwest North America for years, because we've gotten all the pollution from places like Ohio and the coal and Kentucky and the coal-fired plants there.
Have you been to St. John?
That
a lot of pollution there.
That can change significantly because of natural gas. Natural gas, at the same time, they're converting their transportation systems, their trucks, their rail from diesel into natural gas. So it's actually a benefit not only to the economy, but also to the environment.
13 minutes.
And that's undeniable. So we have an opportunity to have a real impact here.
I wish I had more minutes to let you talk. I'm sorry, but I'm just looking.
You want to talk Christmas?
No, we're not going to talk about Christmas at all. Okay, now, what was your thought? Again, you must have been upset over October 17th.
Absolutely. I think there wouldn't be a New Brunswicker, and certainly in my travels, the number of New Brunswickers that are just deplored with what took place by the protesters that day, and the number of New Brunswickers that say,
there's no question about it,
we need to continue to move forward.
But turn around. Myself, I run a blog, as you know.
Yep.
And I moderate the comments, thank God for that. And I learned that racism is very much alive. Very much alive. I mean, when you had these anonymous comments, it's just terrible. And it really, really hurt me, disturbed me, the way people are thinking. So when they saw the confrontation, those Indians, blah, 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 and all that. And you know what? Isn't that a breakdown of communication between the government and New Brunswickers on this issue?
The reality is there's been incredible dialogue that's been taking place for months and months and months with First Nations leaders as an example. But you know something, the reality, and I've said this many times, that much of what took place on the 17th or before and after were outside influences, right? It wasn't the average everyday person who was involved in the violence. But what took place there was not acceptable.
I found out the natives are very, very close with their culture, especially with what they call Mother Earth. Like they said, you can't drink money, but you could drink water. And that's the reason I don't think any amount of money or percentage or royalty is going to fix this issue. Is it good?
It is.
Where's it from anyway?
From the Happy Baker. Happy
Baker. I'm not allowed down there. Okay. Anyway, never mind that. So, I mean, the culture is very strong, the native culture for the environment. How are we going to fix this?
Well, again, I believe, and I've said this from square one, that we can develop our economy, develop our resources without sacrificing the environment. We do have a responsibility.
You think it's possible?
Yes, I do.
You still...
Look, you go to places that are developing it today and see the prosperity that is taking place. You know, go to Pennsylvania and see communities that were closed up that are now reopening and that people have an opportunity to live today. Go to Saskatchewan. You know, when I was first elected in '99, we measured our success as a province with Saskatchewan because we were both struggling. We were both rural provinces. Our populations were going down. Saskatchewan, literally, their young people were being sucked across the border to Alberta to work in natural resources. In Saskatchewan, the young people didn't have an opportunity to stay. Look at what has happened less than 15 years later in Saskatchewan, where young people are staying home. They're well educated. They're building their communities there. And what does that do? It means that there's an economy strong, a community in a province that's strong.
If you happen to use this speech from my video, I want some royalty. Yes. Anyway, 9 minutes left. If you turn around, did you know? I don't want to give you no bright ideas. Did you know in Pennsylvania they use the wastewater from shale gas to clear the ice from the highways?
No, I didn't.
Good.
Oh,
pretend I never said that.
What I do know that they use brine water as an example, which is a salty water.
Yeah.
Which we've used different types of products.
Okay, so you started these commercials. Bring them home, which we've been this been going on since the 70s. Bring them home, Alberta.
But there's a big difference.
Now, the way I see it, 8 minutes. You see these commercials on TV. Now I know, which I don't know. I mean, I presume there's going to be another commercial. Then there's going to be a different style, like you're going to start seeing shale gas, and then you're going to start seeing families dancing on top of the wells, and it's going to. Did you already watch The Simpsons?
The Simpsons.
The Simpsons.
I don't watch The Simpsons.
Anyway, they have the monorail.
Okay.
And they brainwash the people. Monorail, costs about $500 million. So, do you think, go and listen to all these commercials, people are going to go, shale gas, and you are definitely, you say you're going to bring it to an election issue.
What I'm saying is, as a province, we have an opportunity to have prosperity, to keep our young people here in New Brunswick, allowing them to work in the very same sectors that right now they're having to go elsewhere to find jobs. Like my son Ben, right? Ben is in northern Alberta.
But how old is he?
In 23.
23 years old. Now there's a seniority process to follow. I meant to ask you that. There's a seniority when he belongs to a union.
He's part of what's called CLAC, which is an organization out west.
Yeah.
The reality, he was part of a union, a trade union here in New Brunswick. But there wasn't, and there's still not a lot of work going on. So many, the last trip I made to Alberta a week and a half ago, I met 21 trade union members
But they
from
need
New
seniority.
Brunswick
Yeah, but they need
on the
seniority.
same flight.
Yeah.
Well, there's not the work here.
No,
So-
but they'll go by seniority. They'll go by the major
But there's
part.
not the work here, so people
Okay.
aren't able to work.
Okay.
That's the challenge. So what we need to be able to do is have an economy strong enough, then our real estate will be strong. Then
real
people
estate.
will go out and buy vehicles.
Real
Then
estate.
people will go out and eat in restaurants.
6 minutes. Somebody said that if all the rest of the province of Canada all have shale gas, and New Brunswick don't have shale gas, we have big forests, clean water, wouldn't that be better to attract people to New Brunswick?
The last time that I checked, our population is not growing like that of Saskatchewan. If you go and look at the reality, and people have lots of myths, Charles, but if you look at the reality today, Saskatchewan's economy is booming, it's red hot. Their real estate market is red hot. Their population is growing by thousands of people each year because they have a strong economy.
Okay.
And you know what they're doing? They're reinvesting back in their people. They're reinvesting in education. They're reinvesting in post-secondary education and innovation. So again, they're going to continue to even have a stronger economy for the long term. We've got that same opportunity.
5 minutes left. If we turn around, Camille Thuriot never listened to me. Bernard Lord never listened to me. Who's the other one? Sean Graham never listened to me. You listen to me sometime, but you are going to bring this to a vote. You're going to go to the election and say yes to shale gas. The people will know. Now, Brian Gallant is saying no. What I'm afraid is, of course, Brian will change his mind after he sees the true stats. We know that. That's a fact. But isn't it political suicide in your part to go up ahead? Why not bring it to a vote, to a referendum?
That's an interesting point, Charles, because you just said, once he sees the true facts.
Yeah. Just like you see the true facts.
The reality is we know it can be done in a safe and responsible way. That's why we're determined to be moving forward. Are there costs to my situation politically? There's a cost without a doubt, but I can tell you there's a greater cost to every New Brunswicker if we don't act. And that's not just about our natural resources being developed. developing a strong economy, that's very important about making decisions that are needed for the
I know
long
that.
term, like things like pensions.
Well,
as an
how
example.
come these people, Shale Gas, Schwinn, haven't been in your town of Woodstock?
Why haven't they been in my town of Woodstock?
Yeah, how come they weren't around in your area?
Oh, they're developing where they believe there's opportunity. Now, in my area, we hope to see 2 mines come forward. Are there people that are going to be against that? Sure, there will be. But the reality is, if we're able to develop those mines in a responsible way, then that's going to create hundreds of jobs, very good paying jobs for our area. And I fully support that.
3 minutes. Why don't we just put this to a vote? Never mind saying the election. Why don't you just put a referendum on it?
There's not a better place than an election where people have the opportunity to make a decision.
Yeah, but it's going to be scary.
And as part of that, there was already an election in 2010. We ran on a very clear mandate to be able to develop our natural gas in a responsible way.
But you won't put it to a vote? No, not to a vote.
People
No.
will have an opportunity to go to a vote.
Boy, you're
And I
stubborn.
feel very, very confident about it because I know more and more every day
Now, who are the
that
people?
people
Yeah, agree. You said